This week, Rip and I are back from Thanksgiving. NFL's in full swing. Rip's reactions. We've missed a week, so we got 2 weeks to catch up on it. It's a hilarious episode. Enjoy.
This episode of One Star Recruits is brought to you by 500 Level. It's 500level.com for all the best and most creative sports t-shirts on the internet, DK. They got all the fantasy studs, Christian McCaffrey, CeeDee Lamb, CJ Stroud, the best rookie quarterback out there. Use the discount code PODCAST at checkout for 20% off everything on the site. 500level.com. Let's go.
Podcast is our new code, Rip. Very creative. I see. We got what happened to One Star. That was perfect. What happened?
I'll tell you what happened, DK. We were a victim of those code stealing sites over the Thanksgiving week break. I think it was Retail Me Not. Our code got posted on there. Thousands more orders than normal than we get came flying in, and I got an email, I think like the day before Thanksgiving, from the CEO of 500 Level saying, we got to change it. We got to change it up, Rip. So it's podcast, DK. The code is podcast, 20% off everything at 500level.com.
I mean, it's easier. It's generic. It's not personalized, but I'm with it. So podcast, still get your discount. Think of the One Star. I mean, it's a One Star code name. I think you texted me too, and I didn't get back with any good answers. Anyway, I'm not good at password code names. As creative as I think I am, I hit a roadblock. Podcast seems to be a winner, though. I mean, it's like couldn't happen at a worse time for us, I guess, because this is when everybody's doing their Christmas shopping. We got Cyber Monday. We got Giving Tuesday. What's Wednesday? What's today? The
I think it's called Wine Wednesday, DK.
You just made that up. Well done. You, that's a creative guy in us. Wine Wednesday. Maybe get a T-shirt to bring with your wine when you gift them. Double gift. You can't just give a bottle of wine. Kind of loser. Just with one bottle, but a T-shirt of Tyreek Hill, Miami Dolphins, big head from 500 Level, and a bottle of wine. All star.
It really is the perfect white elephant gift, because if you get that big head Tyreek shirt or Dak Prescott and you're standing there with a decision to make at the end of a white elephant exchange, who's going to pass that up?
Well, there you go. That's how we start this podcast, listeners. It's One Star to podcast. You know what? Shit, if you got better codes for us, let us know. But I think that's pretty good. You have a smile on your face. You remember this story as you go to 500level.com on your computer, and you'll have a little giggle when you type in podcast and see that money disappear. So onward. Rip, let's do Rip's reactions. We missed a couple weeks. There's a couple things in the news. People want to know how you feel about them. It's the bottom line. You've been driving a lot. You've been thinking a lot. Let's keep the music going. Let's get into this. So Mars needs insects is basically the deal. Researchers are trying to figure out a way to garden and grow food, and they're making some waves. They're figuring out a little bit. The problemo here is they need insects for that food ecosystem to kind of come together for some fertilization, for some other stuff. You know how nature works, one thing after another. So you have one insect that you can bring to Mars with you, Rip. Maybe your most loved insect that you're okay chilling with. What are you picking?
I don't think I love any insects, but the two that come to mind right away, because they multiply like crazy, are number one, ants, and they're also workers, so that they might rebuild the whole planet. If you put like 1 million ants up there, they might take it over. And number two is mosquitoes, man. They're everywhere right now in Southern California. It's kind of dying out. The season's dying out, but those things seem to multiply like crazy. So if there's no one to get bit up there on Mars, I think it's ants and mosquitoes, 1 and 2 right there.
Big ant, Minnesota blowing up. Carl Anthony Towns, ants. Rip. How about you ever stepped on a anthill, a fire anthill?
Yeah, but I think I had shoes on, so I was good. I wouldn't want to do that barefoot. Those things are crazy though, man. Those ants, the way they build hills like that, and just they march in a line, they're really amazing, man. You should see that documentary on them. I think it's on Netflix right now. What is it called?
Who knows? We'll look it up. We'll put it in the show notes. We're learning, big ant guy. Maybe an ant farm in the future as a Christmas gift for the kids. Can check them out. Check out that civilization. I think it is fucking crazy that they have their own worlds in those ant hills. It's basically like an Earth in that ant hill. So looking inside of that is kind of nuts. Big ant podcast. There you go.
Ant-Man, the sequel.
Ant-Man the third. Ants in your pants. Ants on a log. Lots of
Dis-
ants happening.
Discount code ants. Let's go.
No, 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 you're gonna fuck people up. Podcast. All right, sweet Lord. That is just we need more creative juice in that one. I'm adding that to our marketing notes here in the future. Dude, Amazon has surpassed UPS and FedEx, so it's the biggest delivery business in the US. We knew it was coming. How many times, honestly, how many times a month does Amazon get delivered to your home?
Way too many. My wife has Prime, so I don't really get to order stuff off that. If I ever order anything, it's like the minimum $35, or it takes like a week and a half to get here. But it's way too easy with Prime. You get stuff in like less than 24 hours sometimes. So I see stuff at my door probably 3 to 4 times a week. Unfortunately, it drives me crazy, man.
3 to 4 times a week. So yeah, so that's damn, what a business. I mine has changed. I think when I was more settled in a living structure, I would say once a week I'd get an Amazon package. Now it's twice a month. So I'm doing better in that realm, but it is so damn easy. I think if I was in the 24-hour district that you are, it's just like gimme, here it is, which is pretty amazing, but also scary. Who knows? Anyway, I want to turn that down a little bit too from the fucking boxes, bro. You recycle the boxes? You got a game plan with the boxes?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely recycle them in our purple bin. City of Long Beach comes and picks up every Tuesday. Yeah, we're definitely recycling those, but I don't know about the stickers. Those are always complicated. You have to pull the stickers off before you put them in the bin. It's a whole thing, man.
Yeah, I don't have a whole game plan with it. It's like a problem we'll have in 20 years. We'll have all these fucking boxes everywhere. But I feel the weight. Like I feel the box in my house for about 6 days until I get rid of it. Need a better plan with the boxes though. But pretty amazing that they've taken over UPS and FedEx. I don't even use UPS or FedEx. Shit, it's been a long time since I was in a FedEx store.
Yeah, and if you sat out on my porch for like 12 hours and counted the amount of Amazon trucks versus UPS versus FedEx, I'll bet it would be like 6 Amazon, 2 FedEx, and 1 UPS. That's where we're at, man. 2023.
2023. Taking over the game. Last week, Snoop Dogg announced he was going smokeless. He did a tweet that says he's given up the smoke, and it went viral pretty quickly. I mean, worldwide viral spread pretty quickly. After a couple days of going smokeless, he came out that it was a marketing ploy. Rip, it was a marketing ploy. It's a marketing partnership Snoop has with a company called Solo Stove Smokeless. Free ads right there. Basically, it's a backyard fire pit that doesn't give off smoke. So kind of a cool product. It blocks smoke from going into people's backyards, from your backyard, so you can have a little fire. Great marketing or not great marketing?
It was unbelievable marketing, and he's the master at it. I mean, I see that guy everywhere. He's on Christmas songs. He's on every other commercial. And I'll tell you what, I don't know how this happened. I had never heard of Solo Stove before last week, but all of a sudden I'm getting an email from them every day. I don't know if it's because I saw a tweet or what happened, but somehow they got my email address, Solo Stove. I'm getting an email in my inbox every day from them. So that coordinated campaign where he's out there getting millions of views and, duping the public, they got everyone's email address, and now I'm getting emails from him. So for me, at least, it's 100% amazing campaign.
The algo got you. Are you gonna buy one? That's what the people want to know. They're gonna get you that marketing, get you for 200.
Hell no, I send that thing to my junk mail every time, man.
Big Snoop's the king of relevancy, man. I was in my Safeway in Lahui, Kauai. This was yesterday, so this was just this week, and I looked to my right over, where they sell the cigarettes and the whatever they sell over there, the Western Union and the stuff, the little corner booth there. Our guy Brandon Simmons used to work at Albertsons. He's working that little booth. I look over though, and there's a not full size, but a 3.5-foot doll of Snoop Dogg. Full on Snoop Dogg, looked like a wonderfully put together big doll, and it said, "Donate $1 for a chance to meet Snoop Dogg." That man has reached all the way to Kauai, Hawaii, promoting a food bank to come out and meet. It's like Snoop is he's just everywhere. His ability for something like this to go viral for 2 to 3 days, take over, really be used to get interest. So anybody who looked at it, clicked on it, hovered over it, however the algorithm works, like you, Rip, is now getting served up. So it's like it's like getting a great email. It's like 500 level getting put on that website, Rip. It's like access to so much more. How do I build a database of people who might need gifts for thanks for Christmas, for the holidays? Boom. Hire Snoop Dogg. He probably made a pretty penny. I'd probably say he made 30 mil
Well,
off that deal.
we have some actually hard evidence, DK, because diehard one-star listeners will remember we tried to book him on this podcast a couple of years ago, and he wanted $50,000 for a 15-minute interview. So that kind of tells you right there what kind of money he's making. $50,000 for a 15-minute interview to come on One Star. That was way beyond our One Star budget. As listeners know, we don't pay for interview guests on this pod, but 50,000 for 15 minutes, DK. That's what we're talking about with Snoop.
His ability to speak to everybody. That's the thing. That's the amazing thing about Snoop Dogg. They'll study him in marketing classes for years because he stayed relevant for 50 years. And from a 10-year-old to an 80-year-old, everybody thinks Snoop's cool. It's very rarely that you meet someone who's like, oh, Snoop Dogg sucks. Nobody's ever said that.
And he's a good family man. The guy's been married for like 26 years, got a few kids, lives out in the suburbs. I mean, what a guy, man. Snoop, he's a legend, DK.
Ah, good. Well, shit, man. That's what we got there. Thanksgiving was wonderful for me, man. Went to a friend's house. It was very easy. You know, I know a lot of listeners, it's never easy. You got family and kids and travel. And if you're hosting, shout out to all the hosts of Thanksgiving who did the cooking and even did the cleaning and those types of things. It is no joke to do a successful Thanksgiving of 10 or more people. So big round of applause to hosters. We appreciate it. I had a great time. Rip, you were camping. You did the opposite. You did Oppo. You went Oppo field in the Thanksgiving tradition realm to camping. Was it successful? Did you have turkey?
Yeah, we went camping for 2 days and checked out on Thanksgiving morning. So we did end up having turkey later that day, but we were camping for 2 days up in Pinnacles National Park in central Northern California. Highly recommended, by the way. Amazing hikes through a cave, great weather, great campground. But yeah, I ended up having turkey on Thanksgiving about 2 o'clock. So it all worked out.
Beautiful, man. Did that thing. Family love was there. Anything stand out from your Thanksgiving? We're doing another double podcast today. We're going to do one later today. So I don't really want to beat Thanksgiving up too much. I think it's over and people are on to Christmas. I'm getting pictures of Christmas lights being put up in the neighborhoods now and shit. So I'm not going to beat it up too much, but anything jump out at you? Anything worth sharing to the listeners about your Thanksgiving?
Yeah, everyone check out the Shooting 2 podcast, the episode this week. We're gonna go hard on Thanksgiving on that podcast. We're recording tonight, DK. So everyone that wants to hear every detail about our Thanksgiving can check out Shooting 2. But really, for me, it's just a little summary. It's the desserts came hot and heavy in like the last 24 hours of Thanksgiving and the next day. I had like no sweets leading up to that for like 4 days, but then I had an incredible amount of cake and pies over the last like 24 to 48 hours past Thanksgiving. It was awesome.
The cakes and pies are easy to just like let me snag one in the morning, a little pumpkin pie in the morning. You know, the next couple of days past Thanksgiving, real winner, dude. It's been so good. I know you're on the road. There's really incredible football, college football, NFL football, a little bit of basketball started going on a little bit. I'm gonna let you pick your poison here. As far as sports go, did you sit down in front of a TV? Did you watch? Did you watch your boy Greg Dortch do the too small celebration, being down 30 points to the Los Angeles Rams?
I saw he scored a touchdown, but I did not see that celebration. That is off. He's probably one of the shortest wide receivers in the league, and down 30. I mean, come on.
I hate it when players do celebrations or do taunts when they're getting their asses kicked, especially ones like that. It was the story of the game. It was an okay loss for Cardinals fans once again. The Bears got a sneaky win as well this week on Monday Night Football. Our guy Dobbs, former Cardinal, came up. That man was roses. Now he's smelling like poo within a week. 4 interceptions for Dobbies. Did not look good for the Vikings. They're trending down. 2024 draft order, though, Rip, kind of changes a little bit. The Bears right now have the number 1 pick. They got the trade from the Panthers. Amazing, huh? Because they also have the number 4 pick. Those Chicago Bears. So the battle of these loser teams, which is our team, the Cardinals, the Bears, are really, that's it. at this point in time. We can mix in some teams that are just flopping like the Patriots. But Caleb Williams, about 3 months ago, all we could talk about was Caleb Williams, and we don't care. You were 1-16. I think you had it tattooed on your body somewhere. Is Caleb Williams still the number one guy after this kind of, I don't know, uneventful season for USC?
I think it's far from it right now. I mean, it's so undecided. Like we have all the film we need and all that, but the combine comes up in February. We got pro days. I think there's a real chance Drake May can overtake him, or even a defensive guy, because these guys, unless a team is obsessed with one of them or fixated on them, then we could easily see them go like number 3 and number 6. I mean, especially if the Bears keep number 1 there and Fields looks all right, they're not going to take a quarterback. How about Marvin Harrison Jr. at number 1?
They could really use him. They could use an offensive line. So could, I mean, that's why the Cardinals are in a good spot, because I feel like there's that Caleb fallback, and then there's the Marvin Harrison fallback. So a little bit has changed there. So bottom of the barrel race. You got the Patriots, which I think they know they're in it now. The way Mac Jones is playing, the way Mac Jones looks, they've landed in that New York Jets category of unwatchable football at this point in time. It's interesting to see these NFL teams maybe start to pander to next year fairly early. You see it a lot in the NBA. You don't see it that much in the NFL. Maybe that explains why there's 13 or 14 second or third string quarterbacks starting in the NFL right now. So, but guess what, bro? Still fucking amazing. Still getting the best ratings of all time. The NFL is hotter than ever. My theory is it's gambling. It's gambling that has escalated it to this next level. It's also the scarcity of games, one game a week on the weekends. It's taken over as a almost a thing to do on Sundays. All throughout, you eat certain kind of food. Maybe you go to a certain place. The whole family kind of gets involved. It's a respect of, if your team is playing, you kind of automatically block that time window out a little bit. It's an NFL culture in America that we've created. It's dominating, but the product's kind of shitty. Tom Brady, the great Tom Brady, came out and said it. It's kind of just a shittier product, even though he was just playing 2 years ago, won a Super Bowl a couple years ago, but shittier product. You feeling a shittier? Are you seeing a shittier product? Are we looking at it through Arizona Cardinals lenses where we just expect a shittier product to have a better product? Or is it just so damn good across the board? This is just the best entertainment ever in the history of the world.
I think it's the best entertainment ever. I mean, I don't want to sound like too much of an old man, but I'll definitely say that the music isn't the same now as it was 20 or 30 years ago. But I think the NFL is still really good, man. The game evolves, rules change for sure. The rule changes are a big reason why the game's so different, but I think it's still top notch, man. You can see it in the ratings. I mean, if Tom Brady's saying those things and he believes it, then why are way more people watching the NFL than any other sport? It doesn't make sense. It's still the top dog.
Yeah, I think they're good at doing storylines. I like the CJ Stroud story with the Texans. They're trying to build a little thing with Trevor Lawrence in him and the Jaguars versus the Texans. I see what you're doing, NFL, trying to get a little rivalry going. I mean, it's live reality drama right in front of your face. The Los Angeles Chargers every week. Poor Keenan Allen squandering. Is this the Larry Fitzgerald of this generation, Rip? Just squandering this ultimate talent. He is so good, and they just cannot win.
I don't think he's as good as Larry. I mean, are you putting Keenan in the Hall of Fame? I guess maybe, but I think Larry is unanimous, first ballot, all that. But I don't know, man. Keenan just isn't there yet. Larry made it to a Super Bowl. Keenan hasn't even come close.
It's so frustrating watching that Chargers team all around. And I'm not putting him in Larry's category. I mean, Larry's catch wise and making it to the Super Bowl that year. So painful. If he could have got that one ring, everything completely changes about Mr. Fitz. But the same thing you can say for Keenan Allen. Very frustrating situation going on there. Carolina said, fuck it. They let Frank Wright go. That was problematic from the beginning. I think when you have a young quarterback in particular, you have to bring in a young coach. See what the Miami Dolphins are doing. See what the Texans are doing a little bit. I think you have to speak a little bit more the same language. And they called Frank Wright the QB whisperer during Philly with Carson Wentz. You know, time has come and gone. Got to go get that young blood back in there because you have to be relatable to these quarterbacks. He is not the same Bryce Young that was at Alabama. Don't you remember Bryce Young being fairly confident individual. I mean, shit, you have 350-pound linemen running at your face to kill you. Your confidence might change a little bit. But they let him go. David Tepper, maybe one of the worst owners in sports, let him go. Fired Frank Wright midseason. So Carolina, and they traded that number 1 pick. Not in good shape. It's the battle of the Lolos, the Lolo Ho-Hos. Did you see that Alabama college football game? Did you watch any college football, Rip?
I saw the highlights. I was driving back from Northern California mostly Saturday, so I didn't see a ton of it, but I saw some of the highlights. That pass at the end in the corner of the end zone. That Iron Bowl is always so unbelievable, and so many good endings there, man. Alabama really survived that one.
It's rivalry week. It was a great rivalry week. It was one of the better than I can remember. I think we had 5 or 6 bangers, starting with the Michigan-Ohio State game, which lived up to the expectations. Congratulations, Michigan. I know it's a huge game for Big Blue. Ohio State, big, kind of did what they do, stayed in the game and choked at the end. So Brian Day takes that loss. It's funny that at that school, 0 matters about your career or your stats or anything if you lose that game. And he's 1-3 now. So Brian Day. So good luck to you. Maybe an NFL guy next year if they switch it up there. I don't think you can lose 3 in that rivalry and hold your job. And then the Iron Bowl, they're like the sweet, young, innocent Auburn team that just gets their ass kicked year after year by Alabama. And they had it, Rip. They had that game in their hands. And it was the best thing about that game. If you want to look back, if anybody's just wants to look back on YouTube, I think you can see the faces in the crowd after that game of the Auburn fans. Literally got their heart ripped out of their throat on that pass. It's what winners do, unfortunately. Duke hits the big shot. The Yankees hit the big home run. Alabama catches balls like that in the end zone. Just happens. So congratulations on college football kicking ass. I tip my hat to the whole weekend of football. I don't know how long it's going to be around. I think we got 10 more years, Rip. I saw a video of Chandler Jones at his mansion in Arizona. Now he's been to jail twice. He's been to a psych ward twice. And this is just one individual, so I don't want to blanket everything, but Antonio Brown's also doing stuff like this. But he's walking around naked again in his big mansion, doing stuff that just isn't normal. I don't know if the NFL can keep moving forward with people getting hit in the head at the speed that they're playing at. So, damn, that's real negative, Rip. Went down a negative path somehow. I took it to CD and football probably ending, being the biggest thing in the world to maybe ending soon. Is that why it's good? Is the violence why it's good?
I think it's the unpredictability, and I thought things might change forever when I was at your house in Lahaina back in January, and we were watching that Monday Night Football game where DeMar Hamlin pretty much died on the field. But you look, 8 months later, and he's playing cornerback for the Bills. It's unbelievable, DK. The NFL seems invincible through all this stuff, and they're adapting the youth game, they're adapting the high school game in the name of safety. So who knows if that's going to make a difference over the long run, but it feels like they're doing just enough to survive and stay on top. So I think it really is that unpredictability combined with just the marketing powerhouse that they are that keep it going.
Things happen. If you look at a big macro picture instead of micro, the Roman gladiators, and before that there was probably something with shit, I don't even know.
Cavemen.
Yeah, I was gonna think of like Genghis Khan and like doing stuff on horses, but I couldn't think of a good example. But I think as the world kind of moves on, things happen and move forward, and I think life's getting tougher in a lot of regards, but also more aware of people hitting their heads in general, so be careful out there. Be careful out there, football players. Rip pulled his kid from football, baseball only.
Or get kicker. We have an influx of kickers in the next 20 years. They'll turn into more field goals than touchdowns.
Yeah, you see that kid on Washington earned himself a scholarship. You have to hit like 6-game winners to earn yourself a scholarship in D1 though now. But pass kicker is getting some respect all around the globe. Except for this guy Amendola down in Texans. They cut him after he missed his kick. That's the other side of being a kicker. Big wins, big losses. Dude, the AP has Purdue college basketball, changing topics, has the Purdue Boilermakers ranked number 1. They just dominated the Maui Invitational, which was not in Maui. It was in Honolulu. Big Zach Edey. He's got a team. He's the dominant force for sure. When you watch TV, he reminds me of like a Mark Eaton type guy. This guy's Zach Edey. He's kind of the ghost of Christmas of centers past a little bit. You know, he's built for the G League. Remember Garza we had on the podcast a while back, Minnesota?
Oh yeah, Luca. He's in the rotation now for the T Wolves.
He got up and pulled up in the rotation. His shot, his 3-point shot. He can hit that 3-pointer in this day and age. I don't think Edey really has that in his game. Edey got G League written all over him, Rip.
Or like a Boban, like end of the bench, just like giant, come in and give you like 5 minutes and blowouts. I mean, the guy's a great college player. He should stay in college for as long as he can. Because yeah, it's going to be a lot tougher road, I think, once he gets to the pros. The game is just not built for guys like that anymore.
No, it's just in the 80s he was the guy, kind of that Yao Ming thing a little bit, and now you gotta be able to cross people up and guard forward positions to even get on the court and knock down the three. Zach Edey, but shout out to the Maui Invitational. That was a great tournament, actually. Purdue did run away with it, but it's very competitive. They got some great schools, and thank you to everybody who supported the island of Maui, and they did a lot of fundraising through that, and it was cool to watch, man. So cheerio. Cheers to the Maui invite. Your guy Jordan Poole. I watched a little bit of the I got NBA. I got the NBA League Pass. I love it. We talked about it. I was watching a classic last night, the Detroit Pistons versus the Washington Wizards, and Jordan Poole, man, where to even start with him? Just a huge clown, but he had this move, Rip, where he crossed up Cade Cunningham, put Cade Cunningham on his back. It's a big deal this day and age in basketball, the cross up. And if you could trip somebody up, instant respect for at least 6 months of your life if you cross somebody up on the basketball court. You should try to do that at your office. Just cross somebody up and see if you get more respect at your office. But he put one on Cade Cunningham. Crossed him up super nice. Stared him down. That's what you do too, listeners. If you cross anybody up, you got to stare him down. And then you got to make the shot. Jordan Poole stared him down. Then he went to go do kind of a layup floater. Guess who came flying in? One-star guest Thompson, the only bright spot on this terrible Detroit Pistons team, came in and swatted him. And it's like him, Greg Dortch and Jordan Poole, clowns of the week.
Man, Poole's become just like the meme king of Twitter and the internet right now for just his terrible shot selection, stuff like you just mentioned. There's an edit going around that came out earlier this week. It's like a 20-second edit of him just like crazy dribbling around a guy and then just throwing up like a total brick. And it's like 18 seconds to like soft music and it's just like poetry in motion. Then you see this crazy brick. But yeah, that guy. I said at the beginning of this NBA season that the Wizards were my must-watch team on League Pass, and Tyus Jones was going to finish top 5 in assists. I think those were total 1-star predictions, man. The Wizards are just awful.
Good job. Yeah. Good job calling yourself out on that because they're awful. I'll call myself out too. This game last night. That's why I brought it up. This was, I guess, what team you said the Wizards. I said the Pistons. I thought Monty Poole would have these guys together. I thought Cade Cunningham would take that second-year leap that we sometimes see in these players. Nope. They don't even care. At least Washington knows who they are. Washington Wizards are like the fat kid who knows it's the fat kid and occasionally does some jokes about themselves. And, it's like, it's easier to chill. Washington at least knows who they are. Detroit, I think, is just holy shit. Monty Poole. We got him out of Arizona. Got him out of Phoenix.
Monty Williams, yeah, he got like a 7-year deal or like $10 million a year or something like that. So he's gonna be there a long time. He's a good coach, man. He'll turn it around. But yeah, this is not the year for either of those teams.
Not the year. Sorry to Monty Poole, great journalist in the Bay Area. My Monties are confused at this point. Monty's Steakhouse in Tempe. Rest in peace.
Monty's La Casa Vieja, man. Come on.
Oh, God, Monty Williams. Tough job there in Detroit. So, a lot of crap going on, Rip. A lot of 1-star moments. You have any 1-star moments of the week from your last 2 weeks?
All right, DK, here it is. I love camping, man. We went 2 nights, I told you, at Pinnacles National Park. But just the downside of camping, one of the rough things I know you've been camping before. I've been camping with you. You're not a huge camper, but Man, it's just the bathroom facilities at camping are awful. I love it that you can wake up in the middle of the night and just go out and pee if you're a guy, like anywhere in the dirt next to a tree. That's 5 star to me because you don't have to walk anywhere, go to the bathroom. But man, when you have to poop, DK, go number two, it is just awful. The accommodations at most of these campsites are pathetic. There's no light. So let me tell you a little bit about my experience. I had to go number two at like I don't know, 9 o'clock at night, before bed. So it's pitch dark. I have a flashlight, a headlamp, whatever. I'm going to the bathroom. Pitch dark bathroom. I'm sitting in the stall, and it's such a weird thing pooping in like this isolated area with no light. So you have to have a flashlight, and the toilet paper is super thin. It's awful. It's 1 star. It's just a bad experience, man. These campgrounds got to figure out a better way to accommodate people. And for women, man, you have to go, even to go pee, you have to go to the bathroom every time. Pitch dark, no light. I mean, it's just awful, man. It's the one thing I don't look forward to about camping every time I go.
Hmm. Worthwhile in the thought of when you with your camping stuff, bringing a small shovel, digging a 3 to 5 foot hole, and just putting a squatty potty top over family throne for the trip, and then fill it, cover it up, and move about your merry ways. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
My first thought was that sounds really hard. I mean, you're bringing a shovel, you're digging a hole, but then it might be less work than going to the bathroom. That's like a 10-minute walk
Might be
away
less.
every
Might
time.
be less work. Might avoid getting HPV on your upper thighs.
True, that's true. I mean, yeah, they even try to cover the seat with like thin toilet paper. There's no seat covers. Like the bathroom I was in, no seat covers, no hand dryer, no paper towel. So they fortunately had soap so you could wash your hands, but you're walking out of there with wet hands, man. It's terrible.
Yeah, always the public pooping is never good solutions, man. I know in San Francisco now they're having a big problem with people doing public pooping. I don't think it was successful, but I occasionally seen the plastic bag hold above the bum, and then you don't have the toilet paper issue. Big problems, big problems. You need to maybe just eat a bunch of cheese before you go camping, so you just constipate up.
Oh, it was the hardest decision for me was to whether to try not to poop for 48 hours or to just let it go and see what happens. And I was trying to hold it for 48 hours to just wait till I got back to a house or a relative's house or something, but it just didn't happen. So another 1 star bathroom experience camping, man.
Yeah, I'd be grateful. I think about that oftentimes when I'm doing a bowel movement. How grateful I am to have a covered roof and a nice place, and not to be a caveman like we talked about. Working through the gladiators or whatever the fuck we talked about before. 1 star moment for me is a Thanksgiving food item, and this is me all in my head probably, but also somebody's got to notice this. The 1 star, 1 star. This is a mix of saddest, fattest, spiteful, maybe ego driven move that I did. So it was a smorgasbord for Thanksgiving. We brought some items. One of my items was a huge success. I brought a cheesecake. It was a huge winner. Got cleared out. I brought this other dessert, which was a walnut cranberry pie pudding, they call it. 0 hits, Rip. It got 0 hits. Goose egg, full pie left. You know how embarrassing that
Wow.
is walking back to the dessert table just to see? Because it's like your kind of things. It's like you're a kid, you want to get some type of somebody at least gives you a pity eat. Nope, no pity eat on that bad boy. So I proceeded over to the charcuterie board. And the day before, I got asked by the host, hey, why don't you bring some bread from the bakery in your neighborhood? So I brought this nice, also, the common theme is cranberry and walnut. Maybe that's where I lost everybody, but cranberry walnut loaf to go with the charcuterie board. Guess what? 0 hits on my loaf. So
Wow.
0 hits on my loaf, 0 hits on my pie. Cheesecake, huge winner. Huge winner in that. So 1 star moment. We did pretty bad on our macaroni and cheese, to be honest with you, too. We forgot to put the sour cream in, so it was not creamy. We also really messed up on the reheating. Kind of did a heat and drove it over, and then that reheating got messed up in the production of Thanksgiving. I'll talk about it more on the Shitting 2 pod. But at the end of the day, everybody left. We were the second to last group to leave. Did a little you do a little cleanup. You get your leftover bag. I found myself in the kitchen by myself, thinking, fucking fuck it. I said, I put my whole loaf, my whole pudding, walnut cranberry pudding pie, and about 3/4 of my macaroni and cheese right back in the car. Took it all back with me. Been eating it over
Oh,
the last 2 days. Lovely, delicious. And you know what? Very one-star move to maybe bring items and then take them back full, complete. Waste not, want not, though, is what I hear about it. So I had a good laugh. We ate some of these things. Lesson learned. I was only responsible for bringing the Lily Koi cheesecake. That was my only responsibility, and that was a winner. Lesson learned: don't get cute.
you did too much, man. You brought like 7 things. You could have just brought one or two. You brought too much.
I got a little too cute, and I did the same thing. We were shopping for this charcuterie board a couple of days earlier, and we went to Costco to shop for it. Very dangerous. Too many cheeses we picked out, and I think I was the catalyst of the too many cheeses. I was encouraging. Who doesn't love cheese? Get some Havarti. Get some. Get that. Get that cheese roll with cranberry outside. Cranberry. Fuck. I think that's a common denominator of my fuck ups. So I got to keep my cranberry love to myself in the future. Don't get cute with it. Don't try to Jordan Poole my way through Thanksgiving and bring loaves when you just got to shoot the mid-range jumper and just sit in the corner. 1 star.
Yeah, you broke the ankles and then pulled up and shot an air ball, man. That's what your Thanksgiving. But yeah,
Got swatted.
you were at a Thanksgiving with like 30, 35 people, and you went 0 for 35 on those all those people with the
0 for
pie.
35.
That's hard to do.
Kimmy got a good laugh out of me because I had the epiphany that maybe it's because nobody wants to start the party. The good old icebreaker game, nobody wants to. So instead of digging a nice, eloquently cut sliced from the pudding pie, I like a caveman, like cut like a square piece that was fucked up and just shoved it in my mouth. So maybe somebody would think, 30 minutes later, no, just a ugly Lego looking bite in the fucking pudding pie. Nobody said anything directly, but I could tell as people were like, what, who brought that? So 1 star moments, man. Thanksgiving 1 star moments. We'll talk more. We're doing another podcast. Fourth time we said that. Take a shot every time that we say we're doing 2 podcasts today. I think we're just excited to do 2 podcasts in one day, to be honest with you. But this is good therapy for me. I'm realizing cranberries and cuteness aren't in my repertoire anymore.
You live and you learn, man. You'll be better next Thanksgiving. Let's switch it up, man. What's your recommendation of the week? I know it's not cranberry walnut. What do you got for your recommendation of the week this week?
It's on Tuesday nights. It's back. We all love Hard Knocks, and I probably am stealing this from you a little bit, Rip. But this one's good in particular. It's the in season. It's on Max. It's the in season version of Hard Knocks. 6 games. It's with the Miami Dolphins. Couple highlights though for it, even if you're non-football fans. Mike McDaniels. Here's my quick take. I'm not going to get too far into it, but I like him. I think I'm going to love him, but he is really fucking strange. He's kind of like an alien child, man. It's kind of hard if is he serious? Is he a great talker or is he terrified of talking? It's like but I really want to love him. This first episode, I'm still trying to just figure him out. And if you put it on, I guarantee you everybody in the room, it's kind of like the Victor Wembanyama thing that's going on. Even non-sports people will be like, who is he? He's one of those guys. Like, what? He's the head coach? Like, doesn't make any damn sense. But I really think I'm going to love him as things go on. So another couple other quick takeaways from it. Tyreek Hill is really, really great. His lady gets nachos dumped on her head. It's kind of funny, kind of good at a game, but he seems to be peaking as an athlete and as a person, which is interesting. I never thought Tyreek Hill would be in that sentence of that really peaking MVP status. And you kind of see why he's kind of found this little Zen thing out. I also noticed, bro, they did shots of the game in the game. They were playing the Raiders on the first episode. And guess what they were wearing? The whole family, 500 level Tyreek Hill shirts. Whole family at the game. Nobody's wearing jerseys anymore. Nobody's going to the merchandise store to spend $80 on a hat that you can get at Fanatics for $20. They're going to 500 level, even the family, because they're way cooler shirts. So they're all rocking 500 level Tyreek Hill gear. Look for it when you're watching it. But my rec of the week is in-season Hard Knocks with the Miami Dolphins. Great team to pick. Wonderful to have it at this stage in kind of I don't know, just moving. This is another example of the NFL kicking ass in entertainment. So 5 stars to the NFL, 1-star record of the week, Miami Dolphins. Let us know what you think of Mike McDaniels.
Always Hard Knocks, DK. I mean, the reason they did this in season one is because the preseason one is so damn good. The demand was there. They asked for more. So, and they're focused on one of the teams. It's one of the most interesting in the NFL, the Miami Dolphins. It's funny, man. You mentioned Tyreek Hill. My 7-year-old has like 6 things on his Christmas list, and one of them is a Tyreek Hill jersey. I'm trying to talk him into, like you said, nobody's wearing jerseys. I'm trying to talk him into just getting a bunch of 500 level shirts, man. So be good for him and for this podcast. But yeah, you'd be the coolest kid at school if you're rocking a Tyreek Hill 500 level big head shirt. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, he likes Jefferson too. He likes players, Rip. Actually, you should just get him in Christmas, maybe stocking stuff or a couple of those, even if you maybe a jersey is a gift. That's cool, whatever. But then maybe a handful of those shirts. Eventually, as he moves on with life, he'll learn jersey shirts, man. Jersey shirts are where it's at, and then just kind of cool shirts. This is the flow of the life of a t-shirt wearer as you become a man.
Yeah, when you're still a kid, man, though, you can still get away with rocking those jerseys. Not at our age, though. I'll tell you that much. I got another TV recommendation. That this one came from comedian Adam Lamb. I kind of took it at first because the show is called Squid Game. I don't know if you watched that. It was a hit 2 years ago on Netflix. It was a crazy reality show, I think, from South Korea that, killing people and all this stuff. But it was viral, man. It was number one for a while. Then it kind of died out. But now, if you look on the Netflix trending shows, it's back. There's a Squid Game. It's like a reality show, a competition show, and it's based in the U.S. now. So they basically have, I think it started with 456 people. So it's a huge reality competition, and it's to win $4.56 million. So it's $10,000 per person. It's really good, man. Nobody dies or anything like that, but it's the drama's there. I've watched the first 2 episodes on Netflix. Have you seen this, DK?
I haven't. I have heard about it though. It came up at Thanksgiving. 2 things came up at Thanksgiving. This show and OpenAI and Sam Altman. Lots of people have thoughts on that scene. You even know that what I'm talking about when I say that, Rip? Does that make any sense to you?
I do. Yeah, I know about that. That sounds like a terrible, boring conversation at Thanksgiving, but Squid Game would I think get a lot of people fired up over the turkey, man. But
Squid Games. Who's better at entertainment, the NFL or Netflix?
the NFL, they're top. Nobody's better than NFL.
Nobody tops them. I mean,
maybe
it's
Snoop Dogg.
I think you look at most of Americans' life over Thanksgiving. It consisted of travel, Netflix, and football. If you looked at a pie chart of what they did in this world. 1 stars, we love you. Thank you for sticking with us this episode. We're going to be back with guests. I promise it's not going to be just Rip and I every week. The podcast was built on 1 stars. Thanks for sticking with us on this episode. We're going to be back with guests. I know you love Rip and I. This was a little bit of a frazzled episode. I don't think I was as organized as I could have been. I give myself a C-, D+ for this episode, Rip. I'm going to get better. I'm making a commitment to do some more stuff for the podcast. I didn't do my content last week. There's lots of things that I need to get better at here. So stay tuned for growth from me, Rip. It's coming.
2024, all about growth, new things for this podcast, and we'll be back with guests hopefully next week, if not later this month in December, DK. So thank you everybody for listening. Give us 5 stars, Spotify, Apple Podcast, the #1 podcast in the world, 1-star recruits. See you next week.
Discount code podcast. Rip podcast. Go get your Christmas gifts, 500 level. Catch you later.